Have you ever been there, meticulously logging every single almonds, scanning barcodes, watching that calorie number on your app? You're checking it, it says you're on track, but somehow you still feel, well, sluggish or hungry, just kind of defeated? It's so common, isn't it? It feels like we've boiled nutrition down to this one thing, the calorie. But maybe thinking about food only by its calorie count is like, I don't know, trying to get a masterpiece painting by just measuring the frame.
That's a fantastic analogy, actually. It really
So,
gets right to the heart of what we're digging into in this deep dive. The big question we're asking is pretty blunt. Is counting calories just a waste of time? We're going to unpack why your body handles, say, 100 calories of soda totally differently than 100 calories of avocado. And maybe more importantly, why focusing only on those numbers might be the very thing holding you back from feeling your best. So our mission today is to look at what the science really says. Help you shift from being a calorie accountant to more of a food connoisseur.
okay, let's do it. Let's unpack this. Because before we can even figure out if counting calories works, we kind of need to go back, right? Like, where did the calorie even come from? It wasn't some ancient wisdom, was it?
Oh, definitely not. No, the story of the calorie actually starts back in the early 19th century. And not with food, but in physics and chemistry labs. The word calorie originally just meant a unit of heat. Specifically, the energy needed to raise 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. That's it. Had absolutely nothing to do with diets or health back then.
Just pure science, heat measurement. So how did it jump from the lab to our lunch? Who made that connection?
Right, that leap was made by an American chemist, Wilbur O. Atwater, in the late 1800s. He's the guy who really brought the calorie into nutrition. He used this device called a bomb calorimeter.
Hmm.
And yeah, it sounds pretty intense.
A bomb calorimeter? Seriously?
Seriously. He'd literally burned food inside this sealed chamber filled with water, and then measure how much the water temperature rose, which told him how much heat or energy the food released. His thinking was, well, if food burns for energy outside the body, it must do the same inside. Simple energy equivalence.
Okay, so it burns the food, gets a number. But what's the crucial thing people miss about what Atwater's system was actually measuring?
Yeah, this is key, and it gets lost all the time now. Atwater's system was designed only to measure the total potential energy in something. That's it. It couldn't tell you anything about nutritional quality or how your hormones would react or, your overall health down the line. A bomb calorimeter, like you said, it sees no difference between burning chicken or cardboard if they release the same heat. But our bodies, infinitely smarter and more complex than a metal box.
That difference is huge. So it's not just the amount of energy, but the quality, the type. Which brings us to this idea, maybe the great deception, that a calorie is just a calorie. People often bring up the first law of thermodynamics, right? Energy can't be created or destroyed. True in a closed system, sure, but the human body, it, it's not a closed box, is it?
Exactly. That's the point. Our bodies are dynamic, adaptive. They're like these incredibly complex biological factories. Think about it like cars. You can put cheap, gunky fuel in one car and super premium, clean fuel in another. Both tanks might hold the same amount of potential energy, technically, but are those cars going to perform the same or last as long?
No
Of
way.
course not. And your body is that high-performance engine. The type of fuel you give it matters immensely.
That makes perfect sense. So let's get into the specifics then. What makes, say, 200 calories of almonds so different from 200 calories of like a sugary drink in how our body processes them? What's mechanism number one?
Okay, the first big one is something called the thermic effect of food, TEF for short.
Yeah.
It's basically the energy your body has to spend just to digest, absorb, and process the food you eat. Think of it as the cost of doing business.
And that cost changes depending on the food, right? It's not a flat rate.
Not at all. Protein is the most expensive metabolically. Your body uses somewhere between 20 to 30% of the calories from protein just to break it down and use it.
Oh.
So if you eat 100 calories of chicken, you might only get like 70 or 80 usable calories out of it. Carbs are in the middle, maybe 5 to 10% PEF.
Mm-hmm.
And fats, they're the easiest to process, very efficient, only about 0 to 3% TF.
Wow, 20–30% for protein versus almost nothing for fat. That's a massive difference. So, okay, let's say I eat a 400-calorie meal that's mostly protein and fiber chicken and veggies. My body might burn, 80 calories just processing it, leaving 320 net?
Yeah, something like that. Could be even more depending on the specifics.
But then a 400-calorie pastry, mostly refined carbs and fat,
Yeah.
it only costs 20 calories to process, leaving 380 net.
Exactly. Same number on the package, but a totally different metabolic reality. inside your body. It's kind of wild when you break it down.
It really is. And that leads right into the next point, doesn't it? The hormonal conversation you mentioned. Food isn't just fuel, it's information.
Precisely. Food talks to your body through hormones. And insulin is a huge player here. Think of insulin as your body's chief storage manager.
Okay, so what message does something like soda, high sugar, processed carbs, what message does that send, hormonally speaking?
That sends a allow you to eat message. You get this dramatic, super fast spike in blood sugar. Your pancreas then floods your system with insulin to grab that sugar out of the blood really quickly. If your cells don't need all that energy right then and there,
Yeah.
insulin's job is to store the excess, usually as fat. So it's like your body gets this screening signal, emergency, store fat now, which leads to those energy crashes, the cravings. It just promotes fat storage.
Okay, loud and clear. And how does that compare to the conversation from foods like the almonds? Protein, healthy fats, fiber.
A totally different conversation, much calmer. That combination leads to a much gentler, slower rise in blood sugar. So your body only needs to release a small, steady trickle of insulin. This promotes stable energy, helps control your appetite way better, and actually encourages your body to tap into stored fat for fuel. It's like a calm message saying, okay, here's some steady energy for the next few hours. Use it wisely.
The difference in those internal conversations is just night and day. And then there's the other big piece, satiety, just feeling full and satisfied. Because calories alone, terrible predictor of fullness.
Absolutely terrible. This is where things like fiber, protein, and even water content come in. They're the satiety superstars. They physically take up space in your stomach, they slow down digestion, and they send strong signals to your brain saying, hey, we're full here. Think about a 200-calorie apple, lots of fiber, lots of water, or 200 calories of almonds, protein, fiber, fat. Both of those will likely keep you feeling satisfied for a good while.
Yeah, compared to, well, highly processed stuff, often stripped of fiber, right? And engineered to be hyper-palatable, as they call it. I know I've eaten those 100-calorie snack packs and felt hungrier after than before. That's this playing out, isn't it?
That's exactly it. They're designed to bypass your natural fullness cues, make it really easy to just keep eating. So, 200 calories of chips or cookies, gone in a flash, and your brain barely got the memo that you even ate anything substantial. Still wants more. This is why focusing on food quality, prioritizing those filling nutrient-dense foods, can be so much more effective for managing weight than just slashing calories. Your body's own appetite signals start working with you, not against you.
Okay, with all this context, TFF, hormones, satiety, it feels like a good time to bust some common myths about calories. Myth number one, and you hear this all the time, as long as I'm in a calorie deficit, it doesn't matter what I eat to lose weight. True or false?
Well, it's technically true for losing weight on the scale in the short term, but it's incredibly misleading and potentially harmful for long-term health. Just picture two people, both eating 1,500 calories a day. One eats mostly processed junk, the other eats whole, nutrient-rich foods.
Big difference.
Huge. The first person might lose weight, sure, but they'll likely be malnourished, have hormonal chaos, lose muscle mass, feel terrible. The second person, also losing weight, maybe, but they're building a healthier metabolism, preserving muscle, getting vital nutrients. They're actually getting healthier. The number on the scale just doesn't tell the whole story. Not even close.
Right. Okay, myth number two. You have to count calories to manage your health and weight. So many people feel chained to those tracking apps.
Yeah, that's a big one. And the reality is calorie counting is just one tool, one strategy. And it's definitely not the right fit for everyone. For some people, maybe it's helpful for a short time, like training wheels, just to get a handle on portion sizes or the energy density of foods.
Like an educational phase.
Exactly. But for a lot of people, it just spirals into obsessive behavior, anxiety, a really unhealthy relationship with food. There are other ways. Focusing on whole foods, listening to your body's hunger and fullness cues, mindful eating, or even just using your hands as a rough guide for portions, often much more sustainable.
And the last myth, this one might surprise some people. The calorie count on the food label is 100% accurate. You're saying my nutrition label might be fibbing.
Well, maybe not intentionally fibbing, but definitely not 100% accurate. Not even close. In the U.S., the FDA actually allows a margin of error of up to 20% on those labels.
20%, that's huge.
It is. So that 200-calorie snack could legally be 160 or 240. Plus, our bodies don't even absorb every single calorie listed, especially from whole foods. Remember the almonds. Studies show we likely absorb about 20% fewer calories from whole almonds than the label says because some fat stays trapped in the fiber. Your digestion isn't a perfect furnace.
Okay, so if calorie counting is flawed, maybe outdated.
Hmm.
Where's nutrition science heading? What's the future look like beyond just the number?
It's definitely moving toward personalization,
Mm,
deeply personalized. Less about generic rules, more about asking, how does my unique body respond to this food?
mm.
And technology is playing a huge role here.
Like those continuous glucose monitors, CGMs. I see more people using those now, not just diabetics.
Exactly. CGMs are becoming way more accessible. They let you see in real time how your blood sugar reacts to a specific meal. You might find out that, say, oatmeal is great for you, but sends your friend's blood sugar on a roller coaster. It's individual. Then there's the whole field of nutrigenomics, looking at how your specific genes influence how you respond to nutrients. Your DNA's instruction manual for food, basically. And of course, gut microbiome research. It's exploding. Understanding how those trillions of bacteria in your gut process food and influence everything from weight to mood to immunity. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Right, feeding those good gut bugs with fiber from plants versus feeding the less helpful ones with processed stuff. It creates a whole internal environment. It really feels like a complete shift in thinking from that simple calories in, calories out equation.
To something more like information in, biological response out.
Mhm.
It captures the complexity so much better.
It really does. So wrapping this up, the core insight seems to be, well, calorie counting isn't totally useless, maybe.
Not totally useless, no. Like we said, it can be a temporary learning tool for some, like those training wheels. Helps you get a feel for things initially. But relying on it as your only guide, that's where you miss the bigger picture. It's like that map analogy again, trying to navigate a vibrant city with a map that only shows distance. You miss the hills, the traffic jams, the shortcuts, the beautiful parks. You miss everything that makes the journey meaningful.
So we started asking if tracking every number was the secret. And what we found is your body isn't really seeing numbers, it's reading information. It
Mhm.
knows the difference between fuel that builds you up and fuel that, well, doesn't. It responds to hormones, to nutrient signals, not just a total energy count.
That's the key takeaway. A meal packed with protein, fiber, healthy fats, it sends signals of health, stability, nourishment. A processed, sugary meal with the same calories sends signals of stress, storage, inflammation. Totally different biological messages. So the real goal maybe is to move beyond being just a calorie accountant, become more of a food connoisseur,
Yeah.
someone who understands quality, listens to their body, really listens and chooses food based on how it makes them feel.
So maybe the challenge for everyone listening is this. Next time you look at your plate, try asking different questions. Not just how many calories, but maybe what information am I giving my body here? How is this actually going to fuel me? How will this nourish me, like truly nourish me? Because real health, sustainable health, it's probably not found in just a number. It's in the quality, the vitality of the food itself.